Welcome in, guys. So this is just a fun, quick one. I've actually had some footage from a hunt from 8 years ago. I didn't realize I still had the footage, and I just stumbled upon it the other day. I said, man, this is too good not to post it. So without further ado, let's hop into this video. If you caught last year's turkey hunting video, you'll see we killed a couple birds last year, a couple really nice ones. Me and my buddies actually limited out. I killed a triple bearded bird down towards Harnett County. And then we slid up to Wake County and filled some game land permits where my buddy was actually able to kill a really nice stud game land bird. And we got both of those birds on camera, which is pretty cool. So moving on to this year, I actually went back up to where we killed a couple birds last year. I had a couple birds on camera I've been watching, and the homeowner actually had seen a couple birds out there as well. It was kind of keeping me in the loop on what was going on up there. Opening day, I went in there. Well, sure enough, they came in that morning just absolutely hammering. Came off the roost and had them on the trail camera, just coming through, gobbling. Ended up being two of those ones that I had on camera previously. And they came all the way down to about 40 yards and they saw my strutter decoy. And normally that either brings them right in or it turns them off. Well, in this case, it turned them off. They kind of hung around a little bit, but in general, they were just not having it. They were gobbling, they were excited, but they did not want to come into that strutter decoy for whatever reason. And at 40 yards, I could have killed one, but there was a pine sapling cluster just right in the way of what would have been a nice, clean, ethical shot. So I did not take that shot. So flash forward 2 weeks, and I actually went back out there. I was able to get two birds fired up that morning. Well, I ended up hunting them until 10:30. Just about when I was going to give up, I saw two heads coming up over the hill, and sure enough, I was able to shoot one of them at about 20 yards, coming into no decoys, just some pretty aggressive hen calling. Ended up being a nice bird, nothing crazy, nothing huge. I think it was 21 pounds, I believe. Decent little beard, I think it was 9 3/4. Let's hop into why we're here. So 8 years ago, 2014, a buddy of mine took me down to his farm, down to kind of the Sampson County area, and we had a fun morning, heard a lot of birds, but we went back out for an afternoon hunt and we saw a strutter in this field from about 400 yards away at the road. Well, we had a ground blind already set up down in there, so we were able to sneak down in there, get in the ground blind, and we waited this bird out for what felt like hours and hours. I think it ended up being about an hour and a half by the time he finally came in. I've got this video sped up to 2 times normal speed. That's why it's a little shaky. But he had a group of hens with him and he would not leave the hens, but the hens were feeding in our direction. So we knew we just had to be patient. So I was early in my turkey hunting career, I would say at this point, nor was I patient when I certainly should have been. So we watched this bird with his hens almost 2 hours maybe, and my buddy Josh was filming. It was my turn to shoot a bird, and I just, with no excuses, I just got in a hurry, and you'll see what happens here. Raked the ground right in front of him. I mean, no excuses. Probably a 30, 35 yard shot, and that bird couldn't have been sitting there more pretty. Should we have called and maybe got him to stick his head up to avoid tearing up a fan? Maybe, but for me, I was just kind of in the moment and just not being patient. I should have waited for him to come off the strut and just made a better, clearer shot. But I missed that bird, clean as can be. But not all was lost that day. My buddy who took me down there to his farm, he was able to kill a bird earlier that morning, a gorgeous bird. So the trip was not a waste by no means. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate you guys following along. We're going to go ahead and get this beard and spurs mounted up from the last bird, and we'll hope to catch you on the next video.